And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to be having a look at Boris Blancmange, the man with no spine, the man who backtracks on every commitment he's ever done, Boris the betrayer, Boris limp-wristed Johnson. Now this story that I found is titled Boris Caves. UK gives in to Brexit red line. Barnier tells MEPs the British have accepted. Yeah, you heard that right. Boris has betrayed us. Now, what you may be wondering, has he given up on? Well, let me tell you. Boris Johnson has agreed to keep Britain tied to the European human rights rules. Yep, you heard that right. The rules that stop us from deporting foreign criminals we have now signed up for however long he decides. Absolute disgrace this. What this effectively does is it puts us under their rules still. You know what Brexit was, Boris? You absolute traitor. You know what it was? It was freedom. You've just signed us back up to the same club. How dare you? Now, we all knew that this was going to happen, that he was going to betray us. I just didn't think it would be to this such a serious extent. The human rights rules effectively take the ability for us to be a sovereign nation away from us and puts all command in the control of the EU. But anyway, let's continue this story, shall we? Michel Barnier claimed the British Prime Minister has accepted that future police and judicial cooperation must be underpinned by the European Convention of Human Rights. The Brussels diplomat said this has paved the way to finalising terms on a deal that will make it easier for Britain to extradite terrorists. Really? Okay, it's not been easy for us to extradite anyone so far, has it? Let's not forget it's the human rights rules that are bringing back people like Shamima Begum and Jihadi Jack and share criminal data with the bloc. You remember what all of these cancelled flights and things were about? You remember what stopped them? Oh yeah, let me think. Human rights? Yeah, exactly. This is absolutely ridiculous. Human rights laws just mean that we can't do anything without asking our masters first. I am sick to death of hearing that the Tories are backstabbing us over and over and over and over and over again. Get these muppets out of power right now. I am sick to death of it. I don't know if you heard the same. I'm sorry, I'm very angry at this. I never thought the Tories would backstab us like this. This means that we have not got Brexit. They have done us. And share criminal data with the bloc. An agreement has been on the verge of completion for longer than a month since Lord Frost first signalled the UK would soften its stance. Barnier told MEPs last Friday, "We are almost in agreement on judicial and police cooperation. The British have accepted the prerequisites that we put down on the European Convention on Human Rights." You see what I mean about betrayal? He added, according to the Daily Mail, Lord Frost, the Prime Minister of the League negotiator with Brussels, has previously told the House of Lords the challenge was not how to include a commitment to the ECHR in the legal text. Britain has previously rejected EU demands to implement a commitment to retain membership of the ECHR into domestic law as the price for the Internal Security Pact. The ECHR is an international agreement drawn up by the Council of Europe and enforced by the Strasbourg-based European Court of Human Rights. The spokesman for the UK government said the UK remains committed to the ECHR. We have been clear on that time and time again, included in Parliament. Have you ever heard them say any of this? Have you? I've always heard them say we'll reclaim our sovereignty. We'll be able to make our own rules, our own laws, and yet they've signed us up to a European court. Okay, are you getting angry yet, everyone? Because I am. We agreed that cooperation with the EU should be based on our shared values of respect for fundamental rights and for the rule of law. The UK's approach to these issues in the context of law enforcement is based on precedent for EU third country agreements in this area. Conservative politicians have often opposed the UK's participation in the ECHR, and yet they've signed us back up again. Even Cummins hated the ECHR because he knew that it meant that we were subservient to them. Makes you wonder if that was probably the reason why he got sacked and got kicked out rather than Princess Nut. It is understood UK and EU negotiators are exploiting a guillotine clause that allows either side to suspend or terminate the security agreement if there are serious concerns over human rights or rule of law disputes. Can I just say at this point, the UK already has better human rights, rules and regulations than all of the EU. And yet, we're signing up to them. Okay, this isn't dodgy at all, is it? The government has announced a 24-hour monitoring centre that it says will help crack down on organised crime, terrorism and abuse of the immigration system. You are the ones that are abusing the immigration system by not changing the law, which enables them to come and stay in 4-star hotels and army barracks free of charge while everybody else in the country is suffering lockdown. Am I wrong on this, everyone? Brexit transition arrangements end by December the 31st, but talks on a future relationship to replace them are still taking place. 99.999% of Brexiteers want no deal, and yet they're doing this to us. This tells me that the fight is not over, everyone. It is just beginning. And the Tories and Labour and the Lib Dems and all of the other absolute bumpkins will never get us the freedom that we deserve and what we voted for. Time to change the way we do things, everyone. Stop voting for these three main parties, 4 if you're in Scotland, and let's take our countries back from these bureaucrats and corrupt officials, in my opinion. Fueled by France, demands for widespread access to the UK's fishing waters remain the main stumbling block. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives that up as well. Fishermen, if you're listening, if he does, we'll back you up. Fight him. We'll back you up. We've been trying to get Brexit for many reasons, but the fishing coast and coastal areas of our country were one of the main reasons, in my opinion, or it was for me. I'm sure it was for a lot of other people listening right now. So if you're listening, fishermen, and you were thinking that you were going to get your fish waters back, I would not hold your breath just yet. Seems to be that everything he says he wouldn't do, he's doing. Downing Street insists its negotiation position will not change. Downing Street change every position they've ever had since they got in. Ridiculous. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's spokesman said, "We want to try and reach a free trade agreement as soon as possible, but we have been clear we won't change our negotiation position, and we have been clear that what that position is." What that says to me is, Boris Johnson says, we won't change our position, but we'll give in to your demands. Is that not changing your position, Boris? Considering you were voted in on the back of, I will be strong and I will get Brexit. You remember those words? Because we do. Every last one of them. Now, what's my opinion on this? I'm absolutely fuming that he's backstabbed us like this. I think that staying in the ECHR is effectively not Brexit. He's thrown Brexit under the bus. At least May was honest about not really wanting it. This guy is a traitor, in my opinion. He's got the backbone of a jellyfish. And I'm sick to death of the Tories backstabbing us. We lent you our vote from the north, Boris, to get Brexit done, and you have just denied us. How dare you? But anyway, I'd like to know your opinion, everyone. Do you think he's backstabbed us? Do you think this is worse than even Theresa May would have got? Because I think it probably is. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it out, everyone. I'll see you on the next one.